What is the best use for your food storage dollars? Hello, my name is Les, and I want to welcome you to the Cheffprepper channel. And in this video, I'm going to make the case that canned foods are the best option for your prepper pantry. I didn't say they should be the only option, just that, in my opinion, they're the best option. And I'm going to give you multiple reasons why that is so. And at the end of the video, I'll show you my choice for the best of the best, and also some canned foods that you might want to avoid, and the reasons why. Reason number one why canned foods are the best option is they come in such a large variety of different kinds of foods, like these. Canned meats, where you can get single types of meats or the sausage type of meats, where you can get the single veggies or mixed veggies. Tomato products, fruits, single and multiples, dairy products, potatoes, sliced, diced, and whole, beans, pinto, black beans, northern beans, garbanzo beans, beans, all kinds of beans, pastas, one-pot meals such as chili, soups, stews, beans and rice. So nearly any kind of food that you like or want, you can find a canned version of it. Reason number two, you can get complete meals in one can, like these: chili, soup, beans and rice, pastas or raviolis with meat. With this type of canned food, you got a whole meal. No mixing of ingredients. Going here to get this ingredient, going there to get that ingredient. It's all right there. Reason number three, there's organic versions available, wild caught versions available, versions that are pasture raised, no preservatives added, none of the extra stuff in some of them, no extra salt. So whatever level of nutrition you want, you can find it in your canned food products. Reason number four, you can combine them to make nearly any kind of recipe that you want to make. The canned meats can be added to unlimited number of things, like the Knorr products, or white rice, or nearly any kind of a recipe that you want to make. Your canned meats can fit in with those very well. Reason number five, very minimal cooking is required to eat canned foods. Only heating them up, that's it. And reason number six, the canned foods are good to eat right out of the can. They don't have to even be heated. And some, like these, they're meant to be eaten out of the can without heating to begin with. Reason number seven, because they require so little time in cooking and heating, these make nearly the quickest meals that you can get. And if you want to eat them out of the can, you can have a meal in less than a minute. Reason number eight, they don't need repackaging like these kinds of foods to be able to keep them long term. And reason number nine, when you repackage those foods, you got to label them. There's no labeling with these. They're already labeled. Reason number 10, and the one that gets a lot of people, is the canned foods, they will store nearly indefinitely for year after year and years with the right storage techniques, which is going to be no different than the same way you would store the other kinds of foods that you put in storage. So don't let those best buy dates scare you. And if you're concerned about those, you really should watch this video. I'll also put some links to some resources about how long canned foods will actually really store down in the description box. And while you're down there in the description box, not only will you find links to some of the videos, including the one I just showed you, you'll also find a link to our Amazon store. We've reorganized it. We think we have one of the better Amazon stores that you can access from YouTube if you're an Amazon shopper. And if you are, I would like to invite you to check our Amazon store out. Reason number 11, if you're building up your prepper pantry, instead of buying things in bulk, like these 50-pound bags of whatever, you can simply get just a few cans at a time, put them into storage, and over time build up your prepper pantry. And again, these cans of food will last nearly forever. And if you don't buy in bulk, but you simply buy in smaller packages like these, you still got to repackage those, put them in containers, label them. Whereas with these, it's all done for you. And since all the packaging, labeling is already done for you, that brings us to reasons number 12 through 16. Number 12, no days set aside to repackage lots of food. Number 13, you don't have to invest in 5-gallon buckets. Number 14, you don't have to buy Mylar bags. Number 15, you don't have to buy oxygen absorbers. Number 16, if you do repackage that way, and that is okay, and you still probably should do some of that, but sometimes when you repackage with oxygen absorbers and Mylar bags, a day or two later, you got to go back and redo it because something happened. You won't have to do that with your canned foods. And that brings us to reason number 17. When it comes to the canned foods, you buy it, put it into storage, get it out next year when you need it, or 10 years from now when you need it, or whenever you need it. Buy it, store it, and eventually use it. And that's it. And the last reason that I have for you, reason number 18, canned food is an extreme time saver. All that time that you would spend repackaging those 50-pound bags or those 3-pound bags or those whatever type of food you get, you don't have to spend those hours and days repackaging those things. You can spend that time training, learning new skills, or even better, just simply spending time with your family. I'm sure I left some of the benefits of canned food out, and I would really like to hear from you guys in your comments what those might be. Also, I'd like to hear from you down in the comment section what your favorite type of food to put into storage is. At the beginning of the video, I said I would show you my choice for the best of the best. So in order to do that, I'm going to go through a process of elimination, and in that process we'll also talk about some canned foods that maybe aren't as good storage options as some of the others. As I go through this elimination process, that doesn't mean that I would not get any of these types of foods, just that I would add those to my pantry after I have my preferred choices. One type of canned food that wouldn't be my first choice would be tomato products. That's the only kind of canned food that I've had issues with. I've had the cans to basically disintegrate and all the stuff leak out. It took several years. Tomatoes, not my choice for the best. My choice would also not be fruits and heavy syrup, because that is typically corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup, not to mention sugar. I also wouldn't make pastas as my best choice, because pasta, along with rice and similar type things, have a lot of empty calories. Dairy products would not be my choice for the best of the best. They seem to not last as long, perhaps. When you open a can that's several years old, it just doesn't look like it should sometimes. I'm not saying I won't have any dairy products. Obviously, I have some, but they're not my first choice as the best. So to quickly summarize some of those foods that you might want to avoid if you're just beginning to fill your prepper pantry with canned foods would be tomato products, dairy products, fruits and heavy syrup, and foods or cans that contain pastas and other things that have a lot of empty calories. So we still have a lot of options left when it comes to canned food, but for me, and this is just my opinion, the best, in my opinion, are going to be canned meats, single type of canned meats. And when it comes to the canned meats, I prefer chicken. The reason being, chicken can go with almost any kind of meal or recipe that you're making, and it tastes like chicken. So there you have the reasons why canned food is my favorite type of food as a foundational starting place for my prepper pantry, which I've already done. I know some of you may prefer other types of foods. If you do, that's fine. Compare that type of food with those 17 criteria that we kind of went through for the canned foods. See how it comes out and compares to the canned food. I'm not saying that canned food should be the only thing in your prepper pantry, just that it's a good place to start your prepper pantry, or if you've got a well-stocked one, to add these to it. And as you make your decision for which type of foods to put in your prepper pantry, please don't forget to consider these 5 things. How much work will it take to prepare them to eat? What type of stove and fuel will you need? How much fuel will you need? How much time will it take to repackage those foods if you have to do so to keep them long term? And how much money will you be out for those repackaging items? If canned foods interest you and you'd like to see more specific information about specific types of canned foods,